Before I get the thoughts of Ashley and Eugene on this contest, WION correspondent Dan Ashby filed this report from Moscow earlier today about how the fans have reacted to the lowest ranked team in the tournament making a dream run to the last 8. Listen in.
Well, Russia went into this tournament with very little expectation at all. You spoke to their fans before it all started, and they didn't have particularly high hopes for their own team. Even the President Putin, said he hoped for a gutsy performance, but he didn't think they'd do very well. Here they are in the quarter-finals, and to be honest, the party and the pressure has just been building. It feels like Moscow will explode. The presidential spokesman, Peskov, said that when they beat Spain, the scenes in Moscow were similar to the end of World War II. So you can now see Russian fans out here watching the other games. They're in the peculiar position of looking at other teams, wondering if they may face them in the semi-finals. A very exciting time to be a Russian fan. That being said, they go into the Croatia game once again as the underdogs. Croatia, of course, have Modric. They play better open attacking football, but Russia will come as Russia does. They will put their men in defence, a hard team to break down. And can you imagine if Russia get through to the semi-final, what indeed the scenes will be like in Moscow?
Yes, it's going to be one massive party if that happens. Here's a look at the two teams for tonight's showdown then. Let's start with Russia, and we're going to see them on our screens because they appear to have moved back to their stock 4-2-3-1 formation after fielding a very defensive lineup in the round of 16 against Spain. Joint top scorer Denis Cheryshev comes back into the starting 11, replacing wing-back Yuri Zhirkov. What do you make of this? Going to play a game of football against Croatia may not be the right template?
I think it's a gamble. You know, they got through the Spain game because they were compact, defensively good, and they're always a little bit of a threat with Zuba up front. And this is really going like toe-to-toe with Croatia for me. You know, it's going to be a similar system to theirs. We're going to attack you, they're going to attack us. Obviously, Cheryshev comes in, who's the main man for their goals apart from Zuba. Zhirkov he misses out the left-back who's out the tournament. So maybe it's an enforced change because he's missing his left side and he's not confident having 5 other defenders with him being out, who's I'm not sure. But what we do know is they're going to have a goal.
Yes, let's look at the Croatia lineup on our screens, and one change for them. They struggled to break Denmark down in their first knockout game. Andrej Kramaric comes in for the more defensive-minded Marcelo Brozovic. A lot of quality around, especially in that midfield.
Yeah, they're stuck with the same team except for Kramaric. It's hard for them. I mean, Brozovic going out and Modric coming down to sit more deeper. Would have better see him more playing up front and playing more of a number 10. But now you see Kramaric in between. So it would be interesting to see Modric playing more defensive.
Okay, but you also get a feeling this isn't just Croatia against the Russian team. They're up against a nation. And you've seen the euphoria in Russia. That does go a long way in really boosting the team who've come through against one of the tournament favourites, Spain.
Well, I'm just wondering if that's impacted the coach's thought pattern, really, thinking we're going to have to attack here. You know,
calls from President Putin.
Maybe. Well, we sat off in the last game against Spain. It was pretty boring. It was pretty dull. What gave us our success before was the euphoria of the crowd getting behind us attacking, us getting goals. Obviously 5 in the first game, 3 in the second game. So maybe he's just got sucked in with this crowd getting behind him. For me, I think there would have been a little better going a bit more defensive, because man for man, they're nowhere near as good as the Croatians, and being open, I think, is very risky. Not saying they can't do it. You've got the crowd, like you've mentioned, so there's a possibility. Obviously, Modric and Rakitic sitting deep. You know, they're not massively defensive minded, so there may be an opportunity. Let's see. Obviously, the 90 minutes will surely tell us. Yes, and as he's saying, you know, the difference in quality is obvious, but you're at a stage at a World Cup with a semi-final berth up for grabs. Does it make a difference that the other team has got better players than us, or you now so confident thinking we'll go out there, we'll win this, doesn't matter who we're playing? No, I mean, provided that you understand the technical part of it, the tactical part of it. I mean, knowing that the Croatian team is a better, obviously, man-to-man, but like a coach at previous said, like, they should stick to their stronger points, like what they did against Spain. I mean, going up, obviously the fight is there, the spirit is there, the motivation is there, playing in front of your nation. That is there to push them. But I mean, when it comes to the tactical part, I would have approached it differently. How do you think this is going to play out now, with especially this attacking lineup that he has played? I'm trying to think back to the Argentina game where they tried to have a game of football and were hammered 3-0. And that's something the Russian fans won't like. As you were saying, perhaps they were better suited
by going back and, you know, just frustrating them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we spoke about Russia's shape the last game. The last game they played 5 at the back, and they were deep and compact. You know, they were concentrated on keeping 5 there. They had real narrow 4 on top of them, if you like. They tried to eliminate the space between the units, knowing that that's where Spain would hurt them. And they had a lone forward in Zuber up front. Croatia were 4-3-3 in the last game. You know, we spoke about Modric here and Rakitic here. That's really their strength, because these can both go forward because they have a defensive midfielder sitting off. And both teams have kind of changed, if you like. You know, Croatia have gone to a 4-2-3-1. So all of a sudden, you know, Modric and Rakitic are sitting off. And can they break lines and get forward? And all of a sudden, Russia, it looks like, they're going to go to a 4-2-3-1 as well. So it's 2 identical sides. The keys will be Cheryshev on the left-hand side. Yes. You know, he needs to probably get himself narrow. We've seen him get across even this defender when the ball's on the opposite side. When the ball's in this kind of position, we've seen Cheryshev get into these positions across defenders and score goals, even though he plays on the left-hand side. So he'll be key for Russia if they are to score. Okay. They have got the added threat of Zuber. You know, they can go long into him. We've seen him score a goal even from this kind of range, long balls into him and him fighting and getting his goals. So maybe you might see Russia being a little bit direct. But like we mentioned, if Croatia are to do damage, they've surely got to get Modric and Rakitic on the ball. But they need to get them forward. Yeah. You know, they need to get the ball this side of the midfield.
That's where the damage is going to be done, yeah.
It has to be. But, you know, whether that system lets them do that, you know, we're not sure. So it's going to be an interesting one. 2 slight changes tactical from both sides.
Okay, very quickly, Eugene, before we go, give us a prediction. You think Russia, or is Croatia going to spoil the party?
I think Croatia will do it.
Okay, he's saying they're going to be party poopers. Okay, that's it then on Theatre of Dreams this Saturday. We started this World Cup with 32 teams. Just 5 teams remain, and that number will be 4 in a few hours from now. Ashley will be up to see who faces his England team. Eugeneson will be watching as well, because they have to review that game at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. Now I'm told that Ashley will be throwing a party in his hotel room in a short while from now. So I'll be hopping across there as soon as I wrap up this broadcast. Well done, mate, once again. Enjoy this night.